Oh, what a game Guilty Gear Strive is. Let me ask you this. Did you know what the hell a Guilty Gear was before Strive blew up the franchise? As for me, oh hell no. I had no idea what it was. I actually saw Testament was added back when the game's first season of DLC was wrapping up, and I thought the character looked very cool. Ever since then, I've never been the same. I've dipped my toe in Accent Core Plus R and Xrd Rev 2 after I became quite fond of Strive, and I'll admit, I do not get how to play them. I guess you can call me a new-gen Strive baby? Perhaps. But I can't say that I wasn't interested in the older games, and more so, the past playable characters of the series. Abba was actually my most wanted after I looked into the characters, and yay, she was indeed added. Now that we're just about 4 seasons of DLC into Strive, that begs the question, what of a Season 5? Well, that's what I'll be answering today. These are my predictions based on who I think has a shot at getting in this season, plus a biased guest character. I mean, how am I supposed to properly guess that? I don't even want to try to properly guess that. Anyways, on to the first character. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to meet your maker. Robo-Kai! Alright, realistically, Robo-Kai was going to be an anchor for this season, but now that he's been relegated to a cameo in Venom's moveset, I'm pretty sure his chances just took a nosedive. So let's move on to the actual first character now. Jam Kurataberry is this crazy kung fu lady, and I would argue that besides Robo-Kai, of course, she is the most popular character left out of Strive. She first appeared in Guilty Gear X, and has been a recurring character since. Now, I'll be honest, I am not all too familiar with the lore of Guilty Gear, so bear with me here. Jam is very much inspired by Chinese culture, with the way she dresses and the way she fights. She is a chef, I read that up on the wiki, wants to make a restaurant, and so forth. Regarding gameplay, she definitely fits in the rushdown category. Now, those who aren't familiar with her will probably take one look and say that she's a Giovanna ripoff. Well, for one, she does not have a big green dog, but if the developers are worried about that, then maybe she'll get a rework? I'm not sure. Either way, if we do get another season of DLC, I'd say that Jam is almost certain. Since our first character was a recurring character, I figured our next one should be one more forgotten, to say the least. Hailing from Guilty Gear XX, if it's not Robo-Kai, then it has to be... At first glance, Zappa seems like an ordinary guy, albeit one with an eccentric fashion sense. However, beneath the surface is a man possessed by multiple spirits, including a vengeful one named Esco, who is able to contort and manipulate Zappa's body at her will. In terms of playstyle, he wouldn't be unique without a doubt, as said playstyle is all over the place with several different stances depending on his active spirit. He's so complex that I'm sure he'll get a bit of a rework in Strive, while hopefully keeping his identity. Regardless, Zappa is an oldie, but certainly a goodie. And considering the fact that Testament, Bridget, and Abba were all reintroduced for Strive, I'm not ready to count Zappa out just yet. And now for our next character, let's take a look at the characters left behind from Guilty Gear Xrd Rev 2. That leaves us with a handful of options, yet none as daring, as death-defying, as freaky as... Raven is an immortal German, not that kind, who eventually grew apathetic towards life. Now the only thing that can arouse the excitement back into his life is pain. Raven is a mega masochist, a friggin' freakster, a diggity dog, if you will, and that translates to his gameplay. His excitement meter fills the more he is hit, and he even has a taunt-like move where he builds said meter. Ultimately, the meter lets him pull off stronger alternates of already existing moves, but besides his excitement, I'll say he'd be a balanced type just due to the fact that he has a varied toolkit. I am very unsure of this decision, but I will stick with it stubbornly. Please correct me in the comments and call me a poser. Alright, time for the guest character. This is the big one. We will only have Lucy from Cyberpunk Edgerunners to go off of, so I struggled quite a bit when picking this last character. Then I realized something. I could just bullshit my way through this segment. No way you're suggesting that they put Jolene Cujo in Strive. Yeah, well, I am. Besides, I don't even have to research her lore. Anyway, Jolene is the daughter of Jotaro Kujo. You may know him or not. She is the protagonist of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 6, Stone Ocean, where she fights bad guys in jail. Obviously, there's more to go into, but I'll spare you for now. Why Jolene? Well, let me break it down. Jolene is already in a fighting game, where we can sort of base a moveset off of. In JoJo's Bizarre Adventure All-Star Battle, she has a gimmick where she can summon her stand, Stone Free, to alter her moveset. Let's not do this in Strive. I feel as if the guest characters should be easier for people interested in them to play. Watch Lucy either prove me right or wrong this summer. I figured Jolene could be a balanced type, mixing some rushdown tools with occasional zoning from her stand's string. And with that, I think I'm done. Guilty Gear Strive Season 5 predictions. Let me know your predictions in the comments. Either way, we'll probably see someone here show up at this year's EVO. Jam, it's going to be Jam.